Good afternoon, good evening, YouTube. Video DJ Dre back on set. And today I'm starting a new episode on beginning DJs. This is going to be called Beginners DJs 101. I'm pretty much going to take y'all beginners, and even some of y'all casters out there that got some experience, you can also check this out. But I'm going to start from the very beginning of DJing, start out and work my way all the way through to you become an experienced DJ. I got my son with me in the building today.
Yes, sir.
Give a big shout out to my son. He also has his own YouTube channel. You got to check him out. It's called Behind the Booth. He's a dope MC. You know, I'm a little old if I say dope MC, but yo, you got to check him out. He is a dope MC.
Yes,
You
sir,
got to
yes,
go
sir.
to his channel, see what he got going on. He be interviewing local MCs in the area and also national MCs, also going through a lot of the stuff behind the booth. As you can see, we in the studio right now. A lot of his channel is going to be about behind the booth, mixing, all that stuff, engineering. So check him out. Not only is he a dope MC, but he's also an engineer in the studio. So make sure you check that channel out right after you check out this video here. But we're going to do a tutorial about how to start off DJing. My son, he's an MC. He's not a DJ. He don't really get into the DJing, but you know, he's aspiring. He want to learn and he want to find out how to get into this business, something his pop's been doing for years and years. So in this series, I'm going to take you from the beginning, from hooking up equipment, from mixing, from scratching, picking song selection, equipment to use. We're going to start our way from the beginning, so make sure you check out the whole series. This is episode 1. So let's get started. First of all, if you want to become a DJ, the first thing I suggest is that you got a little bit of rhythm. You know, if you want to be a basketball player, you might have to be tall. You know, if you want to be a football player, you might have some size on you. If you want to be a DJ, you got to have a little bit of rhythm. If you don't have rhythm, I highly suggest you look for another profession. That's the first thing you need to try to do in this profession. And what I mean by rhythm, I'm going to give you a quick sample real quick. We're going to play a little beat, and I'm going to see if my son got a little bit of rhythm. If he got rhythm, then we can move forward, all right? Rhythm come with just bopping your head to the beat. Are we on sync? Is our heads bopping to the beat? If he can hear that beat, then that means he got a little bit of rhythm. So I think, you know, by looking at the camera, I think, you know, he got a little bit of rhythm there. So he passed that first test, man. And that's something that y'all people out here checking it out. You got to have rhythm to become a DJ. Now, before you even start getting into the music part, this first episode is going to be about how do you hook up your equipment. And a lot of y'all guys out there might not think this is real important, but this is very important, man. I've been DJing for over 25 years. I got what I call wiremen right now. They go out with me before my job, or they get there a little bit before I do, and they hook up my equipment. Just last week I'm at a job, and one of my wiremen been with me for over 10 years. Yo, Dre, where this wire go? I'm like, come on now, you've been doing this too long to ask me where the wires go. So this episode right here, it might seem simple, but it's very important. And even if you're a seasoned DJ, it's very important that you know how to hook up your equipment properly. Because if you don't, you can blow speakers, you can blow amplifiers. There's a lot of things that you can blow. So I'm going to do a pretty simple version, but it applies to the best, to the biggest, I mean. Right here, we got a basic mixer. And I'm going to use another camera just so y'all can see that as well. All right, this is your standard mixer right here. This is a Mackie mixer, but you can use any kind of mixer that you like. You know, it's a lot of mixers on the market that you can use. The first thing you need to know about hooking up DJ equipment or any equipment is what I call the male to female relationship. Now, I'm not trying to get, you know, sexual or anything, so don't think this is, you know, an explicit video. But the people that design this stuff, they called it male and female connections for a reason. Current flows in one direction. And a lot of the guys that I've been working with over the years, they get confused where the wires go because they're not 100% sure which direction current flows. So just look at it this way. Say I'm a male, forgive me if this might sound a little bit, explicit, but it's not. The male has the penis and the female has the vagina. Same way with these cords, and I'm going to give you a little example. This is a male end cord. I don't know if you can see that real good, if I can show that to the camera, or I might have to get my other camera out that's
right here.
a little bit sharper. This camera here is a little sharper. Okay. See those prongs sticking out? That's the male end. That's the penis, okay? The male end goes into the female end. This is called the female end. It's standard through all hookups, no matter where you are. If you're working with a mixer of this size, or if you're working with a mixer of this size, or if you in the Coliseum hooking up something, the male has to go into the female. You see this end right here? That end has holes in it, sort of like the vagina. Now, I don't want to get explicit here, but, I'm pretty much explaining it this way because this is the way I had to explain it to my wiremen so they can remember it. The male goes into the female, and the male shoots whatever he's shooting in to the female. That's the flow of current. That's the flow of the direction of how you need to hook things up, no matter how big, no matter how small. So first we're going to start with the computer. Well, basically in any system, I'm going to have my son hook it up right after I do. In any system, you're speaking out sound or you're DJing sound. The bottom line is you want the sound to come out of your mouth or from your computer, from your DJ device to your speaker, out of your speaker and out to the ear. Okay, so the direction of flow is going to be out of my mouth or out of my controller or out of my computer into my mixer, out of my mixer into my speakers. Now, I don't care how big your system is. I don't care how many channels you might have. See, this mixer here has quite a few channels. You may have a smaller mixer than this, or you may have a bigger mixer with more channels. Just like this mixer over here has a lot more channels. It don't matter how many channels your mixer have, it's all the same. The bigger the mixer, they all hook up the same simple way from male to female. Okay, so remember that. Remember that female to male sexual relationship with your equipment. So first we're going to start with the computer. Over here is where my music is coming from. This is the new age of DJing. I'm not going to start back from the beginning in my day where we had vinyl and wax and all that. The new age, the first thing you have is your computer. The sound is coming out of your computer. Well, these two hook up together. Your controller and your computer hooks up together. The sound comes from your computer and it's hooked up through USB. We all know about USB. It's only one way to hook a USB up to, but it still has the same premises. A male end and a female end. Still has the same thing, no matter what type of cord it is. Can you plug that back in there for me? The same principle. They still have males and they have female ends. So right now we're coming out. We're coming out of my computer, the sound, into this mixer, okay, through USB. Then through the volume controls, I'm going out of my mixer. As you can see in the back right here, I'm going out of my mixer and I'm coming around and I'm going into this mixer. Let me call this a controller so I don't confuse you. This is a controller. It's a small controller with a mixer in the middle. But my sound is traveling out of here and into here. I'm going to show you again. These two cords right here on the male to female anatomy, what does that look like? That looks like the male end. And these holes over here, that looks like the female end. My current is flowing from the male into the holes, which are the female. That's how you know the direction of your current flow. I don't care how many things that you got to hook up, microphone included. Can you hold this real quick?
Yes, sir.
Microphone, same way. You see on the back of that microphone? Can they see that?
Mm-hmm.
What would that be considered?
That's the male end.
That's the male end. You heard him? What would this could be considered?
That would be considered the female end.
And why is that the female end?
Because it has several holes.
Several holes. I hope your female only got one hole, but you know, it has several holes. Well, like I said, the direction of current coming out of my mouth is going into this microphone. It's coming outside. The flow of current, whatever you want to call that flow when you're talking about a male or female relationship, that flow is going into the female side. On the opposite end, what do you have?
The male end again.
The male end again, because that current is flowing that way. And it's going into, what does that look like right there?
Some more holes. So this is the female end.
That's the female end. All right, I'm hoping y'all follow me. This might sound simple. It might sound like it's irrelevant. Trust me, it's not. Like I said, just last week, 10 plus years in, my wire man was like, where did this wire go? I'm like, come on now. If you follow the basic male to female relationship, you can hook up anything. I don't care how big it is, how small it is. All right. This is going into this mixer. My sound is coming into this mixer. My sound from this particular controller, you got the controller on there?
Mm-hmm.
My sound from this particular controller is going into this mixer. And this is it right there. That's the microphone going in. This is the controller sound going in. Then it's coming out of the back. Let me get a picture of the back real quick. I hope you can see this coming out of here. I'm going to pull that out real quick. What does that look like on the back of that? That looks like some prongs sticking out. That looks like the male sticking out. I only have one channel hooked up right now. My left channel. In this business, the left channel is considered the mono channel, which all the sound is coming out is just in mono. It's not in stereo. That means you're not going to have a different sound on your left or your right speaker. This particular out wire here goes all the way over to my speaker here. Okay? That's running right into here. Guess what that is on the back? That there is the male side. The direction and flow of current is coming through this wire and going into this. And you can see right there, that must be the female side. There's an opening. Very simple. Very simple. So that plugs into there. That's your final connection in any system. You're going from your mouth or you're going from your system into an amplifier or a mixer into your speaker. Now these days we got what's called power speakers. Back when I started out, you had a device in between it called the amplifier. So you had to go into an amplifier first and then into a speaker that was not powered. Power speakers have amplifiers built into them, so we no longer have to really worry about it. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that still using passive systems, but for the most part, we use powered speakers now. So I'm not going to get into the powered system connection. And there's a lot of other things that you can hook up in between your mixer and your speakers. You got equal EQs, you got compressors. There's a lot of things that you can hook up in between, but the process is the same, male to female. So this is the in route right here. This is pretty much the in route. Once that sound comes out of here, you know you got to hook up. All right, so I'm going to let my son run through this real quick and see if he can follow what I just said. All right, so if you was hooking this system up, how would you do it? We can trade places.
All right, well, like my pop said, he said it's all about the current and the flow, and we're going to start from the first device and proceed into the next devices. So it starts with the computer, and we're going to be following that current into our controller, which is going to follow into the mixer, and then lastly, the speakers, like you said. So first off, as you see, we have a few cords back here in the mixer, and I'm going to follow the cord that we have to this computer, and I believe it was a USB, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
it's that USB right there.
Yeah,
A
so
few wires out here, but it's that one right there.
that USB. So it's already plugged in, but like he showed you before, we're gonna show you that this is clearly gonna be the male end. It is sticking out, and there is an opening that we can put this into, which will be the female end, as we just learned previously. So I'm plugging that back in.
Twist it up.
Twisted,
Straight.
yeah, it's at the wrong angle, but as you see, fits in there just nice and snug. And this is our controller, as we said before. And the controller is where we control our sound, but we also have to funnel that through our mixer, which also has a few channels as well. And same situation, I'm looking at what's connecting from here to that.
Okay, this is actually connected. This wire here,
gonna
it's
be
kind of
connected.
tucked in, but it's this actual wire here.
Yeah.
So that wire
So you
there.
got these two that are connected to this two. And as we said before, we're just looking for that same relationship, the male and female relationship. These are also male ends, as you can see. They're external, sticking out. And we're going to put these back into these channels.
We're going in. We
And
had
these
them
two
in the
holes,
7
7
and
and
8.
8. So we had them in 7 and 8. My apologies. And these are, as you can see, holes. These are the female end. Keeping the same premise of the relationship, the male to female. And then that is our mixer. We just plugged it in from our controller. And now we're going to be going from our mixer into our speaker like he showed you before.
And on this particular mixer, the output is on the back.
It's on the back right here.
Yeah.
You see, once again, same relationship, excuse me. That is the, actually this is the female end.
Yeah, because that part is going to
It's the output, like you said.
your sound is traveling out of the mixer. So the male is the mixer. So the sound is traveling into the female. Okay, and that female cord there
It's gonna feed,
is going to feed
and we're gonna follow that.
to the back of your speaker.
As you see, it's right
And that's
here.
going to be your input to your speaker, which if you pull that out,
See, that's male. We got 3 prongs there,
and
sticking
the
out
current is flowing into
the speaker.
the speaker.
And as you can see, there is an opening, and that's the same relationship we've been sticking with, female and male, and it fits in snug just like that.
And that's your basic setup. You see, my son just ran through it. This was a simple setup, but it don't matter how big your system is. It don't matter how big your setup is. Don't matter how small it is. It's all basically the same way. If you forget which way the wires go, think about the male to female relationship and which way current flows, and if it's going in or out. That'll simplify everything, and you'll be able to hook up small systems from here to mixers like behind me to Coliseum size events. So, hey, that's my episode for today, man. I hope this helped y'all guys out. Don't think this is trivial, because trust me, a lot of y'all guys out there think you know what you're doing, and you might not know what you're doing. And another thing I want to say before I cut it, I didn't mention the microphones versus the inputs. Never hook your controllers into your microphone inputs. Now, a lot of the new mixers these days, they have line mic inputs that are split together. But if you have an older mixer and it just says mic, like I'll show you here, this mixer here just says microphone, doesn't say line mic. So you can only plug microphones into these jacks up here. Make sure you remember that, because if you don't, you can cause some serious damage to your speakers, to your system, to your ears if you hook it up improperly. So that's my tutorial for today. That's my video for today. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope it helped y'all out. Once again, check my son's YouTube page out. It's called Behind the Booth. The link will be below in the bottom, so you can check that out as well. Get you some more good information on Behind the Booth. See some up-and-coming stars, some up-and-coming rappers. We even had a beginning rapper come out of here called Drum. I might play a little bit. Now, I won't play the music because I don't want to get demonetized, but I'll probably put a link below to Drum. He was a national recording artist. You know, he was big at one time. Started out when he was a teenager right here in this studio. So make sure you check out Behind the Booth, because we got up-and-coming rappers on his channel. He's doing interviews, the likewise. Once again, y'all, I want to thank y'all for checking me out. Make sure you check out the next episode where we're going to get into the actual DJing part. The software part, the mixing part, the scratching part. Make sure you check out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.